everyone, welcome back to my channel. So we are going thrifting. I had to actually stop at my parents' house. I was taking care of the cats. Probably spent a little bit more time playing with the cats. But seeing as I'm already out here in the country, why don't we just take a look around and check out their thrift stores again. I have been to the thrift stores in this area once before with my mom. Unfortunately, I am riding solo today, but that is okay. Hopefully we can find some good things. So I'm going to put the timestamp right here if you want to fast forward right to the haul. But without further ado, let's go thrifting. So a quick scenic drive, and it wasn't long before I arrived at the thrift store. So this is the type of thrift store where you can find items just about anywhere. So make sure you look on the walls, look on the floor, anywhere and everywhere in between in order to see everything that there is. And early on into this shopping trip, I noticed this little dish right here. I thought it was cute and adorable. However, it was $25. A little bit of a sticker shock, to be honest, but can't blame them for trying. And I really like the pattern on this piece. Also love the fact that it was brass, but I did find another one on the shelf as well. A different style, but something similar to it. I did leave that one behind though. And although there wasn't much when it comes to books, I did luck into one that I was really happy to find. And I walked around the store several times to make sure that I didn't miss anything that I might have wanted. But I left content knowing that there weren't any other items I'd be missing out on. Pretty quick look around, and immediately I found some stuff. The next place is actually much smaller than this one, so I don't think it's going to take a long time to actually walk through it all. However, maybe we'll find something there. So let's check it out. So the second stop was the smallest thrift store I've ever been to, but I will say they had a decent selection of mugs. This one actually looks really similar to my favorite mug that I use. But this style, as well as this other style, looked like they were handmade. And while beautiful, I decided not to grab them. I did, however, spot this piece and truly fell in love with the border of it. It's a particular style that I don't see too often. And this mug, honestly, I wish I grabbed this set. It's just a really cute piece, but also it's a great size. But aside from the few pieces I mentioned, nothing else was catching my eye. Cute little store. I had a very quick walkthrough. I want to see if I can find another place along the way, maybe as I'm traveling back home. I feel like it wouldn't hurt to look a little bit longer. So probably not surprising, but I ended up at Goodwill. It was actually on my way home, so I decided to stop and take a look. And although I passed up on these, I will say this was a really interesting idea. Pine cone candlestick holders. I've never heard of that before. On this particular day, I was really interested in ceramics and vases, so I looked at what they had as far as inventory goes, but unfortunately nothing was really speaking to me. I did notice this collapsible stool though and thought it was really cool. And in this aisle, there were actually quite a few pieces that I thought were really good, and on a given day, I probably would have picked up. And because I saw it, I couldn't help myself and I had to take a look at the wooden bowl. Thankfully though, I refrained and put it back on the shelf. And after months of searching for new lamps, I found this vintage piece, this gem. I thought it was adorable, and so yes, it was coming home with me. And in the art section, there were decent pictures, although unfortunately high prices in my opinion. So a lot of the things I left behind. I did really like the frame of this piece though, but I couldn't reason with myself spending $20 just for the frame. And I was really drawn to the shape of these glass pieces. Something about them were really cool, but I couldn't come up with a vision for them, so for that reason I decided to leave them behind. And very surprising to me, but I actually really love this candlestick holder. The color of it was absolutely beautiful, and I wasn't sure if it was glass, but whatever it was, I did think it was really cool. And for some reason, this piece was giving me cottage vibes, but I absolutely love the exterior detail of it. I don't know what I would have used it for, but I sure do wish I picked it up. I did manage to find quite a few noteworthy pieces, although I do feel like I was being a little selective this day, because had I not been, I do think that the thrift haul would have been much larger. And after staring at the shelves several times, picking up and inspecting several pieces, I really started to believe I had seen all that there was and was about to turn around and leave until I decided to go to the art section one last time. And I'm glad I did, because I don't know how I missed this piece. Now, this was just an instant love kind of thing. I don't know why, but for some reason I was swooning. To me, it just felt like the piece I needed to complete the day. Spent over an hour in there. I kept on walking around, and although I didn't get like a large haul, I will say I got some good stuff. I'm excited to show you all that we got from this haul. And so with that being said, It's Thrift Haul time. So first up is this book. Now, obviously not to hurt the book's feelings, but it is probably the worst conditioned book I've ever picked up. But the copyright is 1902, so I'm gonna give it a pass. At first, I actually didn't realize that the spine was coming up. I actually thought this was part of the spine itself. However, I do really love this, the way like it's kind of exposed like that. I actually think it's really cool. So this is The Works of Schiller, Volume 4, and I love the fact that it has uneven pages. I adore that look on vintage books. This book was $1. Actually, I could have gotten a whole bag of books for only $1. Truthfully though, I wasn't interested in any of the other books that they had there, so I decided just to pay the $1 for the one book. I didn't think it would be wise for me to grab books that I really wasn't interested in for the sake of just getting more for $1. And although I really love to thrift coffee table size books, I will say I much more prefer the smaller vintage books to decorate with in my home. Despite the fact that it looks probably the worst than any of my other vintage books and is falling apart, knowing myself, it's going to be probably one of my favorites to style with. I'm probably going to be moving this one around a lot when I'm styling and just kind of feeling it out, but I do think this one will probably, in the meantime, find a place in my living room. Next up is this cute little brass container. I originally put this down, however, I went back to it. Small trinkets and knickknacks are kind of my go-to. I like small items like this to style on bookshelves or to style on a stack of books. I think that they just add a little something. I thought this one was cute. It was only $1 again, but I really love the little side detailing too. In the footage you probably saw there was another one too that I was looking at. However, I didn't pick that one up. That style was just a little bit different than what I was going for, and this one just kind of felt more like me, so I was happy to pick this one up. $1. Again, I don't think that's bad. I think that was fair, and so I decided to take this one home with me. Next up, brass candlestick. I want to say that we made it 6 weeks in total of seeing brass candlestick holders and actually me leaving them behind. Fortunately, that clock now restarts with this new purchase, but that's okay. It's a style that I don't have. The brass is tarnished, which I do like, although I do kind of wish it was a little bit more tarnished, but that's okay. Thought it was cute though, and yeah, I actually just really like the fact that it's a shorter piece. And although I really love my candlesticks to be in groupings, I will say a lone candlestick holder has its place in my home too. I was happy to pick this one up. This one was $3, which I think is fair. It's a cute size, it's a cute shape, it's very different than what I normally have, so yeah, I was happy to pick it up. Okay, so next up is this stoneware piece. I really love this beigey cream color that it has, and then the inside is actually black. It's a great size too. I love the fact that it tapers and it has a lip at the top. And I actually really like the fact that this one is kind of almost like styled like a vase. I like the fact that I can actually put some greenery in this. I think it's gonna look really cute. Let's see. Not what I would style it with, but you know, I don't really feel like it fits the vibe, but you get the gist. Unfortunately, not clear on the age, but I do know it's at least a vintage piece, so I didn't expect it to be in perfect condition. There are some small surface cracks. That kind of stuff always adds character to me though. Now, I will say this one wasn't cheap. I think because stoneware is so popular now, and typically it's older, I feel like you're not gonna find it cheap unless you just lucked out and had a great day. That wasn't the case for me, but that's okay. This was priced at $25. $25 didn't make me hesitate as much as I thought I would. Still though, I think $25 is fair. Next up is this simple frame. Truthfully, I love the pattern on it. It's a very interesting detail. I haven't seen it before, and that's really what drew me in. I love lighter wood accents. However, this one is a little bit more orange than what I gravitate towards. I tend to prefer wood in its natural form, in its natural state. What I think I'm going to do is actually sand it down and stain it a darker color. Normally I would actually like lean into the fact that it's already light and just go lighter with it. However, I feel like the pattern on this will look so much cooler if I manage to find a way to highlight the details and make that lighter while making the rest of the frame actually darker. I don't know, I'm kind of excited about that. I think it's going to be a fun half-day project. Just a cute grab. This one was $4.99. It does have some detail to it, and it's wood, so I don't think it's awful, but I do think this is going to be a fun one to update. Next up is this lamp right here. Truly vintage, and I could always tell that by the actual plugs. First off, love the shape. think it's so cool. And it still has what I assume is the original lampshade. Truly a vintage lampshade as well. I did test this out at the thrift store. It does work. However, I will say if I'm thrifting vintage lamps, it comes to a certain point for me though where I don't feel comfortable using the old wiring. And although I don't think it's too expensive to actually have things rewired, I will use battery operated bulbs or rechargeable battery bulbs. So this one was $7.99. $7.99 for this lamp I thought was actually a pretty good deal. And the size and the fact that I already had a lampshade with it, I was more than happy with that. Color is a maroon color. I do think this would be better suited as a neutral. So this will be again a quick DIY for me. It's gonna be cute. And last but not least was a shock for me that I was so drawn to this piece. But I will say I feel like overall it's like nothing that I would ever go for normally. It was this. On camera it looks really cute. The frame, love it, gorgeous. I feel like this isn't my style per se, just given the fact that one, it's not a landscape painting, and I'm a person who vibes more with like landscape, like I want to feel like I'm outdoors while inside. I don't know, I just feel like I fell in love with the overall vintage vibe of it. It is definitely an older piece. Anytime I see like this wood backing right here and actual small nails to hold the picture in place, it's a really good indication, at least for me, that it's an older frame. And truthfully, this frame is gorgeous. It is a wood frame with a raised detail all over it. It's got a faded look, so you could see some of the gold coming off of the details. Now you can see here, there is like a water stain. Clearly at some point it got wet. It's charming. I feel like this is definitely not going to be an everyone piece, and truthfully I am so shocked that I really love this. And yeah, I found this one and I was just like, yeah, this is coming home with me too. I think it's a great size. It's a great one to hang on a wall. I think this could be like a lone picture, but I also feel like it can be amongst others in like a gallery wall. And this one was $24.99. So this is like the second piece that I picked up that was like on its own $25, but I will say when I saw this at $25, truthfully I didn't care about the price and just decided it was coming home with me. I feel like I've already thought like 100 different ways of where I could put this, how I would style it, but when I do decide and land on that, I think it's gonna be really awesome. This might be the smallest haul I've ever done on this channel. It sounds really bad when I say that, but truthfully, I'd much rather pick up quality pieces that I'm gonna love and have for a very long time, as opposed to things that I feel like me picking up many items and realizing they're not gonna work in my home. But if you liked this video, or if you liked anything from the haul, definitely make sure you give it a thumbs up. But I wanna say thank you so much for watching, and thank you for thrifting with me. I hope you enjoyed it, and so I will see you in the next one. I gonna say? I don't know what I was gonna say. Train of thought, come back.
It's good to see you. Okay, good talk.